record again. And I am going to share my screen because we have some announcements. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having an amazing day. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to skip over that first one for now. We have some shout outs because already changing some lives in September. Vanessa, Lindsay, and Heather have all helped one person already this month, which is amazing. Lindsay and Heather both signed up a new coach this month already, so we have 2 new coaches on the team. Remember, our goal for this month is 20. I think last month we had like 14 new coaches on our team, and so this month we're aiming for 20. I'm super, super excited about that. And we have a bunch of current emeralds and diamonds, and Amanda, Annalisa, Melissa, and Danielle are all halfway to emerald, which is super, super exciting. Lindsay and Carly and Heather all have 3 or more people on their team, which means that they're almost halfway to diamond, which is super, super exciting. I just love seeing our team exploding. Elizabeth is like, I think, 4 coaches total away from diamond, including the emeralds that she needs. And there's just a lot of exciting things happening on our team. And so I love, love, love seeing that. Super exciting. We have a new emeralds coach, Cassandra. Super, super pumped for you and excited for you and proud of you. I know that Cassandra like literally worked her butt off last month. And it paid off. So congratulations, Cassandra. Okay, let me see. Annalisa says, yay. Don't forget about the chat, you guys. That's what makes this fun. And again, do not forget about the Success Club trip waiting list. Get on that waiting list if you have not already. It's going to be so, so, so worth it. And then the time to start qualifying for the 2020 Success Club trip is now. The Success Club points that you earn now is what's going to give you, what's the word I'm looking for? Seniority for that Success Club trip 2020 sign up when that happens. We have a sneak peek starting today. I personally don't have anyone in there. If nobody else has anybody in there, let me know because I don't want to be running the sneak peek for no one. But I did say that I would start one today, and so I'm going to hold to that promise. And, next month, definitely let me know if you want to be involved in the ones that we're running next month. Okay, so those are all of our announcements. So today we're going to be talking about social media as a radio station, okay? So this call is, the concept of this call is something that I heard Melissa McAllister speak about last week. So I'm in this this Star Diamond push group for diamonds and above. Guys, if you are not pushing for diamond, you should be, because if you have any goals in this business, getting to diamond will open up all kinds of opportunities for you. The only reason that I'm allowed to be in this push group is because I'm a diamond or above coach. And if you don't know who Melissa McAllister is, she's one of the top 10 coaches in the network. And she's in there. Amy Rada is in there. Bonnie Engel is in there. Lindsay Matway, Brittany Leggett. Just all of these different top 10 coaches who I get to learn from. And I wanted to bring some of that back to you all because this concept just blew my mind. It made perfect sense to me, and I thought it would make perfect sense for you. So I just wanted to give credit where credit was due. This was Melissa McAllister's concept, but these are my words. Okay, so I want you to think about driving in the car, scrolling the radio. Does anybody do that, by the way? Does anybody listen to the radio? I personally do still. Like, I like to listen to the radio. I like to find new music. But, obviously most of us are on Spotify or Pandora most of the time. But I personally, when I'm driving in the car, I like to listen to the radio. So let's just, if you don't do it now, I know that there's a certain time in your life when you did. Think about that. Think about, you're driving the car, you're pressing the scan button, and there's all this white noise, right? There are commercials. There are DJs, there are talk shows, there's music, and there's lots of white noise. But the reason that you stay on the radio station is for the music, right? So I want you to tell me in the comments, in the chat box, I want you to tell me, what is your all-time favorite song, and why is that? Your all-time favorite song. And if you can't think of one specific song, maybe an album, maybe a few songs, and tell me why. What is it about that song that connects to you? My favorite song, hands down, is called Murder in the City by the Avett Brothers. If you guys have not heard the Avett Brothers, oh my gosh, go listen to them. They're my favorite band ever. But this song is all about family, and it's all about love, and it's all about the power in relationships. And that song, when I listen to it, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. I think about my past and the people that I've loved. And I think about my future and the people that I'm going to love. I think about the people in my life. I think about my kids and my husband. And I'm like, I have tears welling up in my eyes right now because it is so moving to me and so emotional to me. And it means so much. It evokes emotion. It's powerful. And that music, that power is something that we can have too through our social media. That emotion, we can evoke that same thing through our social media. So now let's see. John Party, because she loves country, How God Pursued Me, Relentless. Oh yes, oh my gosh, I love that song. Love that song, Jade. So if you haven't shared your favorite song, I would really, really love to hear it, so keep it coming. But that's powerful, right? That song, Relentless, reminds Jade of how God pursued her. Annalisa, because his songs are so good, maybe it makes her feel alive. Maybe it evokes different emotions from, every different song. So think about your favorite song. And, okay, so now I want you to think about your favorite genre of music. Annalisa's is country, right? Did you know that country is the #1 listened to genre across the entire world? Like, more people listen to country than any other genre of music in the entire world. And you know what? I don't like country music. I don't listen to it, like, at all. It's not my thing. It's Annalisa's thing. She loves it, right? She loves country music. And that brings her to a time in her life where she was camping with her dad. And that's really special to her, right? But for me, country music does not remind me of anything special in my life. It literally reminds me of nothing. It reminds me of something that I don't like. So I want to make sure that I am here. Okay, so, and my favorite genre of music is indie. I really like indie music. I like, I like the rolling melodies that indie music usually has. I like the quirky, drum parts. I really like indie music. And I know that not a lot of people love indie music, right? But I do. And that is special about me. That's my thing, right? And it's okay that not everybody likes indie music. It's okay that not everybody on this call likes country music like Annalisa does, right? That's okay because everyone has their own tastes. So imagine a radio station that played country music and indie music and jazz and classical rock, or classic rock and classical music and pop music, like all these different genres. At first, it might be like, oh, this is kind of cool, like a little bit weird, a little different. I can get on board with that. But eventually, you're going to change the channel, right? If you're listening to that weird radio station that can't make up their freaking mind about what they're going to play, you're going to change the channel. So it's the same with us. Our social media is a radio station. We each have our own personal radio station on social media. And so every single time you post on social media, you need to be doing one of 4 things. And we're going to relate this to radio in a second. You need to be doing one of 4 things. You need to be inspiring. You need to be selling. And yes, I did just use the word selling because selling is a good thing, right? It can be a bad thing, but in our case, it's a very good thing that we're selling. You need to be educating, or you need to be entertaining. If you're not doing one of those 4 things, inspiring, selling, educating, or entertaining, if you're not doing one of those 4 things every single time you post, you're going to be wasting your time. You're going to be posting to nobody, right? You're just posting for yourself in that case. So I'm going to be using my social media as an example. So in order for you to be able to relate your social media to your radio station, I want you to answer 3 questions, okay? 3 questions. I want you to answer these 3 questions in the chat box if you can. Number 1, what is your passion outside of coaching? What is your passion outside of coaching? Think about this. You know, you weren't always a coach. You weren't always passionate about Shakeology, right? You didn't always like have this, you know, magic powder that you shake in your almond milk every day that makes you feel amazing. Obviously, all of us are passionate about the products. But what were you passionate about before Beachbody? Maybe you were, you know, I know for Jade, she's passionate about her journey. If you haven't heard her story, just private message her and be like, hey, yo, let's talk. Because, oh my gosh, her story is just, I have goosebumps thinking about Jade. I've known her for a long time, and I've seen the way that God has just totally transformed her life, and it is so powerful. And so, you know, I know that she's really passionate about sharing her story. I'm really passionate about nutrition. Since I was, you know, a teenager, I've cared about nutrition, and I've cared about, you know, keeping my house green, and I've cared about recycling and not, you know, and minimizing my carbon footprint. Those are things that I care about, things that I'm passionate about, okay? So what are you passionate about? What's your passion outside of coaching? Annalisa, it's nursing. Lindsay, it's hairstyling. Oh man, hairstyling is awesome. I wish that I knew more about that. I wish that I did. Annalisa, I wish that I knew about how to help other people get healthy when they're sick, you know? And so that is your passion, right? That is your passion. Okay, so now next, I want you to think about what can you do to entertain your followers? What can you do to entertain your following? And that's a tough question, right? Because we are in the business of entertaining. We are. If we are not entertaining our following, they are going to change the channel, right? If we don't have that, you know, song that they want to listen to, they're going to change the channel. So think about it. Maybe it's science. Maybe you can, you know, you can entertain us with, you know, fun facts about science. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's pictures. Heather takes gorgeous pictures. Lindsay, you can entertain us by teaching us how to do a hairstyle. Let me think. Sherry can, you know, Sherry entertains her audience by doing her crazy yoga poses and posting her pictures and talking about her motorsports, right? I personally use my kids a lot as entertainment on my social media because my kids are really freaking cute, you guys. I don't know if you've seen them, but oh man, they are so cute. And Everett with his crazy curls and the crazy things that he says and does, he's in my stories all day long, and you would not believe how many conversations I get started because people are watching my stories, they see my cute kid, and they're like, oh my gosh, my son did that same exact thing the other day. You know, what are we doing wrong with our parenting? And so, you know, you can use your kids. You can use your animals. Shelby, I'm sure, starts conversations all day long with her equestrian friends who she hasn't met yet on social media because she uses her horses to entertain. Lindsay, you know, I'm sure connects with a lot of hairstylists because that's your avatar, right? So think about, you know, the things in life that make it spicy. You have a life full of entertainment. And all you have to do is think about how you can relate that to your people. And then number 3, third question is, what part of your life story can you share that will make you relatable to your avatar? It took me a year to open up, over a year and a half to open up about my miscarriages. And gosh, how stupid and selfish was I to keep that locked up inside, because I have been able to connect with and inspire and help the most special people through talking about my miscarriages, through connecting with this part of my story that I was scared about. And then, you know, this same thing with Miles and his tongue tie. I didn't share about Everett's tongue tie. I didn't share about it because I was too scared. I was too scared that people would judge me for, you know, getting a surgery to slice open my son's mouth in 2 different places. I was afraid that people would judge me. But you know what? When I shared about Miles's tongue tie, when I shared about that scary, vulnerable, yep, Jade just used the word vulnerable. So scary to be vulnerable. When I shared about that stuff that just made me feel like my soul was being exposed, that is when I connected with my people. That is when I connected with the people who get me. My avatar, other people whose kids have tongue and lip ties. You know, we can connect because we have something in common, okay? So after you've answered those 3 questions, I would love to hear your answers to those questions in the chat box. What's your passion outside of coaching? What can you do to entertain your following? That's usually based on your passion, by the way. And then what part of your life story can you share that will make you relatable to your avatar? Okay, so let's talk about your radio station, okay? Let's talk about number 1, talk radio, okay? There are 4 parts to this. There's talk radio, there's DJs, there's music, and there's commercials, okay? That's radio. Whew. Sorry, I'm all got the sinuses going on. Okay, talk radio, number 1. Sometimes you have to share your beliefs, and you have to share who you are. You have to share the things that you're passionate about. You have to share the things that you've experienced, because that is how you're going to find that loyal following, your tribe, right? We use that word. And it can be a little bit offensive because we kind of stole it from the Native American culture. But just for the sake of, you know, I know that we can all relate to this word, that tribe, right? That those people that you have that common thing with, right? For me, okay? For me, it's the fact that I'm an empath, right? I have a lot to say. I am in my head all day long, and I feel things so deeply. And when something is in my mind, I cannot move on from it until I talk about it, okay? And so, you know, those things that are on my mind, those things that are on my heart, that's how I connect with people. And those things usually have nothing to do with Beachbody. I wrote a post last week about people with food allergies, and that connected me to people who care about, you know, something that I care about, right? I care about protecting kids with food allergies because I have a food allergy and I want people to protect me too, right? Maybe for you, it's, you know, maybe you follow like the keto lifestyle, and that's fine if you do, by the way. Maybe like I know Leah DeKino, she doesn't eat nightshades because they make her sick, right? And that's not really because it's like she believes in it, but it's just because it makes her sick. So maybe that's not a great example, but you know, what is something that you believe in that makes you special and that you have a lot to share about that has nothing to do with being a coach? What is something in your life? You know, again, for me, it's the fact that I'm an empath. I am in my head all day long, and I have to share what I think about, right? So what is it that you think about on a regular basis? And, you know, if there's a lot of different things that you think about, you know, how can you hone those in to connect with your people? Because the goal here is not to get people to buy Beachbody products from you. The goal here is to get people to fall in love with who you are, to fall in love with your mind, to fall in love with the things that you have to share. People are in love with my kids because they share about them. Annalisa's passionate about mental health. Me too. Jade thinks about Beachbody. That is exactly what I did at the very beginning of my business. All I could think about was Beachbody, man. That was all I could think about. So I get it. And that's okay, you know, but how can you relate? How can you take Beachbody out of the equation and just share about those things as something that's a part of you? Think about that. So you do not have to lose who you are to be successful as a Beachbody coach. In fact, if you do lose who you are, you will not be a successful Beachbody coach. You are a special person and you have a lot to share, you know, and that has nothing to do with the fact that you're a coach and everything to do with the fact that you're a beautiful person who has a soul and passions. So don't suppress the things that you're passionate about that don't seem to fit in that great with coaching. You know, for me, like, I don't completely agree with the portion fix, you guys. Sorry. I said it, you know, I don't completely agree with it. It doesn't work that great for me. I have to eat more carbs than I'm allowed to eat with portion fix. And that's okay, right? I don't have to lose who I am just because I don't 100% agree with, you know, the portion fix. You know, maybe you are, yes, all the carbs. Maybe you need to eat more fat than Beachbody recommends. Who cares? That's a part of who you are. You can become an influencer in someone else's life in health and fitness while still weaving in those things that you love and the things that you're passionate about. you don't have to negate Beachbody just because you don't agree with everything, right? But like, you know, and if it was just Beachbody and the Portion Fix that we were sharing all day long, like I would be so burnt out on sharing, wouldn't you? How much more fun is it to be able to share you? And, you know, even though if those things you are sharing don't completely ascribe, or Beachbody doesn't completely ascribe to, you ascribe to them, right? And that's what makes you special and makes you stand out. You can be devout about, you know, skincare. Maybe you have like a skincare routine that you follow every single night, right? Maybe you are awesome at time management and you have your schedule down to a T. Maybe you suck at time management and you're just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. You can share about that. Something that I realized today that I need to share way more of is lazy clean eating, you guys. Okay, so just a story here. I have my lunch right here. I had leftover quinoa from yesterday and black beans that were in a little container, and I have eggs, okay? Like I want my lunch to be quick, okay? So what did I do? I threw a handful of greens on a plate. I put the quinoa on top, hot quinoa, by the way. I put 2 eggs on top of that, and I have like a weird quinoa and egg green salad. Like, how weird is that? But it works for me, and I bet that there are other people out there who want to eat that same way. Maybe you're passionate about momming, and you just like love being a mom. Maybe you're passionate about DIY, okay? It doesn't have to have anything to do with Beachbody, but it has everything to do with you, and that's what matters. Think about how many women out there are selling something on social media. There are hundreds of thousands. There are a dime a dozen, you guys. But how are you going to set yourself apart? By being you and by being unapologetic about the passions that you want to share with the world. Okay, so that is the talk radio. Now I want to talk about the music, okay? Music is why we go to the radio. That's why we get on the radio, right? We want to listen to music. That's the entertaining part. People want to be entertained. That's the whole reason that I scroll social media when I do it. Like, I'm looking for the funny videos. I'm looking for, you know, Christina Kuzmic, I think is her name. She talks about like mom drama, and like she's just so funny. I love following her. It's stuff like that. And it draws me in because it makes me feel something. It makes me laugh. It makes me happy. I watched this video the other day about there was a police officer who saved this little boy. The little boy wasn't breathing, and the parents were standing on the side crying, and the little boy's not breathing, and this police officer did CPR and resuscitated him. And I was crying my eyes out, you guys, and that was on social media. It made me feel something. And I stopped and I watched that video because it made me feel something. And I thought about that video for the rest of the day. If we can make somebody feel something, if we can entertain them by making them feel something, then that is what's going to cause them to stick around with us. I mentioned earlier that music evokes emotion, right? Music evokes emotion, and your social media should evoke somebody's emotions. For me, the way that I entertain on my social media, like I said, is with my kids, right? They're cute. They're dynamic. You know, Everett has like this horrible nap time struggle right now, and I'm sharing about that. I'm entertaining people by talking about how we had a hot mess at nap time today. I'm talking about how he dumped, you know, an entire container of Indian spices onto my kitchen floor, and I vacuumed it up, and now every time I vacuum, my whole house smells like Indian food because of the freaking spices, okay? And, you know, my son is the person that I wish I could be, right? He is free, and he is fun, and he is exactly who he wants to be. He brings life into my social media. So for you, maybe it's your pets, maybe it's your spouse, maybe your spouse is just like super funny and he says the silliest things. Share about that. Again, you have an entertaining, fun life. Share those things. I think about like one of the ways that like Jen and I rode, Nicolette Anderson, Jess Harper, one of the ways that they entertain on their social media is through the Musical.ly app. Actually, I think it's called TikTok now, but you can like create a music clip and you can like do silly things and dance around, and every single one of them does that with their Energize every day. I do it sometimes, but honestly, like, that's not me. I like to watch it. I get a kick out of it. Like, I can do it when I want to, and I do it because I know that it's entertaining. But like, it's a huge drain for me to come up with something like that. So unless I'm feeling super inspired, guess what? I'm not going to do it. So I find my entertainment elsewhere, right? I find my entertainment elsewhere. I use Everett's quirks. I use my snarkiness. Like, on my Instagram stories, people will message me all the time with like the laughing face because I'm just super snarky in my stories, you guys. That's just who I am. So what about you? Who are you? How can you entertain your avatar? I'll give you a hint. Usually the things that entertain you are going to be entertaining to your avatar. Use humor, right? Like, you have a funny life. I'm sure you laugh all the time. But are you using that on your social media? Are you sharing it? Maybe, you know, rather than like, okay, so I'm thinking about like, you know, like acro yoga where two people do like a crazy move and like there's like one person on the bottom and they're holding the other person up. Like, what if you did that with your husband, but you shared the fail instead of the pose? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You can entertain them with the pose, but how much more entertained would they be with the fail? So fails, funny pictures, jokes. Like, sometimes you have to dig and find something funny and share it. But man, you can become a huge influencer in somebody's life if you can make them laugh. That is a fact. I think about like, there was a day that I did my workout video, and as I was editing it, I realized that my pants were inside out. And so did I hide that? No, I shared about it. Like, hey, you know, 10 points to who can pick out my wardrobe fail today. And it made people laugh. And that video got way more views than my videos normally do. So, you know, the workout clips that we do on Instagram stories every day, you know, I love that, like, Carl Deichler says that you should do 3 clips of your workout every day. And I love that. But honestly, I'm sick of seeing like the same moves, just boring old moves every single day, right? Like, how can you make it fun? Including your kids, maybe, or, you know, inspiring. Again, one of the things that we do with entertaining is inspiring, right? Like, maybe you did push-ups on your feet for the first time. Tell people that, inspire them. So that way, that mundane push-up video becomes something that's inspiring somebody to do hard things that they don't believe that they can do either. Involve your kids, involve your pets. You can't just post these videos and expect people to come flocking to you, right? Like, the only way that you can do that is by getting them to relate to you. People want to know what's in it for them. So when you're posting, think, what's in it for them? Am I just posting this for me, or am I entertaining and inspiring? Because we can get very saturated with that. So next, let's talk about DJs, y'all. You are the DJ, right? You're the DJ of your social media. When I lived in Albuquerque, there was this DJ that I loved listening to. His name was Steve-O. You guys probably know, on static radio. And then they changed it and ruined it. But, you know, he would share about hard stuff. Like, he would talk about real stuff and deep stuff. And I loved listening to him almost as much as I loved the music on that station. I could sit there and listen to him all day because he related it to stories. He'd talk about the artists. He'd share their stories. He'd share his own life and relate how, you know, the music related to his life. And I didn't turn the channel when he talked because I wanted to hear what he had to say. And, you know, he's not just pitching local businesses. He's sharing stories. And a DJ or a commercial is usually a reason for me to turn the channel immediately because I want to listen to the music, right? And your listeners are going to do that too if you don't make yourself relatable. So make it interesting. Okay, that's all I had to say about DJs. But now I want to talk about the commercials, you guys. Raise your hand if you watch the Super Bowl for the football. Jade does. Jade is the only one. Okay, I watched the Super Bowl for the commercials. Okay, I watched the Super Bowl for the commercials. And so last year, did you guys see the Honda commercial that oh, Annalisa watched this for the football too. But did you see the Honda commercial where they opened up a yearbook and there were celebrities like Tina Fey and Missy Elliott, and they were talking about being overachievers and going for their dreams. And even when they were in high school, they were the nerdy kids who were like, who believed that they could do anything and who worked hard for it. And, you know, they were talking about their yearbook photo, okay? And this is a Honda commercial. And do you realize that it costs over $1 million to have a 30-second commercial on during the Super Bowl? And this Honda, or this company, spent $1 million not to show a single car. Not to show a single car. And instead, they posted a yearbook of nerdy kids talking about, having big dreams and going for their big dreams. So now I want to ask you a question. Do you think that Honda would have spent a freaking $1 million on, sharing about that if they didn't think that it would help them to sell some cars? Heck no, right? And that is exactly my point here. I know that we have Beachbody on the brain, and we have to talk about Beachbody. If we don't talk about Beachbody, then we're doing our business as a huge disservice. But we don't have to do that every time. So be Honda, tell a story, share your dreams, share your past. That is what's going to get people to buy your products. Not, hey, look at my shake, I'm drinking it, it has chia in it. That is not what's going to get people to buy, to buy your products. What's going to get people to buy your products is inspiring them. And, if Honda can inspire people and, associate themselves with go for what you want, follow your dreams. Like when people think, I want to go for what I want to follow my dreams, they're putting that together with Honda because that's what they saw in that commercial, right? And we can do that too. You being inspiring in who you are plus Beachbody, right? Plus Beachbody. So they are going to put 2 and 2 together. They are going to put 2 and 2 together, all on their own. And all we have to do is inspire them. All we have to do is be that source of, hey, she's inspiring. She can do it. Even if it has nothing to do with Beachbody. They know that Beachbody is there, right? We talk about Beachbody. They know that we're using Beachbody. But the fact that we're inspiring them and we're Beachbody, it's going to come together. That's not going to be lost on them, right? But, okay, so actually that was part of the DJs, and now I'm talking about commercials. I'm sorry. It was a commercial example for the DJs, not for the commercials. Sorry if that was confusing. Now we're talking about commercials, okay? So, and this is going to be super, super short because nobody likes commercials, right? Raise your hand if you like the commercials on the radio. I don't, unless it's a Super Bowl. But, you're going to have to sell every once in a while on your social media because this is a business and we are selling products. When it comes down to it, we are selling products and we have to do that if we're going to make money, right? But if the difference is if you have commercial after commercial after commercial, you're going to change the channel. You're not going to listen to that radio station. But, you would change the radio station. Of course, your followers are going to. But at one commercial every once in a while will not cause anyone to move on because they know that in a few minutes, there's going to be something that'll inspire them or entertain them or educate them, something that they're interested in. Right? If I'm listening to the radio and it's a station I love and there's one commercial on about that sale at Target, right? I'm not going to change the station. I'm going to listen to that one commercial and hey, maybe it might even inspire me to go buy something at Target, right? But I'm going to stick through because I love that channel enough to know that there's good stuff coming, to know that I'm going to get some value pretty soon. And, our job is just to get people to fall in love with our channel, right? You aren't going to cause your listeners to fall in love with you by selling. You're not. But you better believe that they're going to want to buy from you if you inspire them, if you're the one inspiring them. And then they come across that one little commercial and they're like, oh, hey, challenge group, that's kind of cool, And I loved what she said about food allergies the other day. If I need to lose 5 pounds, I'm going to do it with her, right? And this is where you really need to schedule your stuff. Schedule your sneak peeks. Schedule your challenge groups. You have to put your commercials out there. You have to post about, hey, we're doing our, self-care in September challenge group. It launched this week. You still have till Monday to get in there. Super excited. I'm bringing 3 people. Let's do it together. And obviously those one-on-one invitations need to be happening too. But so you have to put the commercials out there, but your other stuff has to be there too. It has to be a balance. You want them to love you enough to listen to that commercial and not change the channel. Okay. So, and it's good to do that. It's good to be direct. We have that pumpkin spice Shakeology coming out. We have sneak peeks. We have a challenge group. Push it, right? Push that out there, but make sure that your content is connecting with your people, because if it is, and they see that sneak peek happening, they're going to be like, man, I adore that girl. I love what she has to say about life. And I'm really rooting for her because she's awesome and she adds a ton of value to my life. Heck yeah, I want to check out her sneak peek and see what her job is all about because, you know, I'm really rooting for her because I love her. And that is how people get interested in what we do, you guys, by inspiring them, by encouraging them. And then they come across our commercial and they're like, oh, I didn't realize she could help me lose weight too. Awesome. So, you know, they're going to be rooting for you. And all we have to do is get them to fall in love with our station. So that's all I have for today. Does anybody have any questions? Does this make sense? I feel like this jived with my brain so well. Does it jive with your brain? There's like one person nodding their head. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me because I love music so much. But hold on, I gotta grab my phone. But seriously, you guys, if you can get your following to just fall in love with you as a person, you're sharing your passions, you're entertaining them with your, you know, cute kids or your animals or, you know, your hairstyles or your best friend or the fact that you're, you know, doing your workouts in your dresses. You know, if you can get them to fall in love with you, then you're going to be the person that they want to sign up with when they're ready to lose 10 pounds. You're going to be the person that they, you know, want to, oh, Jade's been taking screenshots. Well, hopefully of the slides and not of the awkward faces. But actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to take a screenshot and then I'll do the boomerang so that we can have both. Are you ready? Okay, 1, 2. Hold on, wait. I got to get the cute baby. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Do you guys hear him? He's been like grunting and cooing the whole time. You probably can't hear him, but okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh shoot, it's a video. Hold on. I did that last time too. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! I love these calls, you guys. I love getting on and seeing all of your faces. We have such a beautiful team. And, you know, even more than just on the outside, all of you are just thinking about your stories and all that you have to share. And I just love you guys so much. Okay. I hope everybody has a good day. We'll see ya. Oh, and your call to action is to share your story today. It was in the slides, but I didn't share the slide. Okay, bye guys.